Hey Redeemer, thank you for watching this month's edition of The Big Idea, which is our monthly video update to talk to you about Redeemer's strategic priorities and basically just talk to you about how things are going here at Redeemer. You remember last month we shared with you the end of year reports from fiscal 23, a lot of information about how things went in our ministry in the last year. Well, today I'd like to shift our focus a little bit to how things are going this year and give you a little bit of an update there, particularly with one area. First of all, some things I'm excited about. Second of all, some things that I'm concerned with. And third, what we want to do to address these things that I'm concerned with. And the topic I want to share with you today is about Redeemer's financial stewardship. You may remember that over the last couple of years, Redeemer has had a team of people that is looking at this area of financial stewardship, doing some analysis, looking at data, but also trying to creatively encourage Redeemer members to prayerfully and carefully consider their own area of this financial stewardship, this area of financial stewardship. How do we serve the Lord, not just with our time, not just with our abilities, but also in this area of financial stewardship, and to prayerfully think about that? Well, again, there's some great news I want to share with you that this team has uncovered. I want to share a graphic image with you right now. And if you look at this image, first of all, what this is 5 years of data that looks at the percentage of Redeemer's households and at what level those households have been giving throughout Redeemer's ministry throughout that year, okay? And so basically, if you look at the innermost circle, what that innermost circle is in fiscal 2019, what percentage of Redeemer members gave at what level? And then the next circle out is fiscal 20, the next circle out is fiscal 21, which is the COVID year. The next circle out is fiscal 22. The final circle, the outermost circle, is fiscal 23. And again, the question is, what percentage of Redeemer's households gave at what level? And if you look at starting at 12 o'clock and kind of go around the clock face for each one of these circles, each one of these years, you can kind of see the percentages for what percentage of households gave at what level. So if you look at 12 o'clock in that dark blue area up there, what you see is the number of households that gave at less than $260 a year. Well, there's some really great news here. First piece of great news that's with this graphic is that over the last 5 years, we have seen a significant reduction in the households that have given at that level, right? That have given less than $260 a year. We've seen that number actually cut in half, which is fantastic. If you look at the COVID year, 2021, which we're kind of considering an outlier, it was kind of a weird year, obviously. We're not really considering that year within the entire picture of our data points. But what you see there is from that year, we actually cut the number of households that gave in that less than $260 level range by a third, right? So, and we're really excited because essentially what this means is we have more households that are giving at a higher level throughout this entire chart, right? Now, if you look over kind of at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the green shaded colors, and then even up in towards 11, 12 o'clock, what you're seeing is some really, really encouraging things, because throughout this entire chart, what we're seeing is more households are giving it at higher levels. But if you look at kind of those upper levels there, we have some pretty neat data there that shows us that there's a lot more households that are giving at those higher levels. So first of all, let me say this. Redeemer, thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your support of the Lord's work here at Redeemer, not just with your time, which is awesome, not just with your talents, which again is awesome, but also with this area of financial stewardship. What we're finding is that more of our members are considering prayerfully and carefully considering their own question of financial stewardship, and they're willing to be generous and sacrificial in this area. So again, thank you for your support of Redeemer's ministry. I'm excited about that. Now let me tell you the thing I'm not excited about, or I'm a little concerned with. While this chart talks to us about what happened over the last 5 years, we're looking at this year now. And let me put another chart up here that shows you what's happening this year. Because here's where I'm a little concerned. If we look at these numbers through October, and you look at tithes and offerings budget versus actual, again, here's where I'm a little concerned, because essentially what's happening is we are not doing real well with our tithes and offerings year to date. September is generally a bad month here at Redeemer. It's just a slow month for us, tithes and offerings, we get that. But usually in October, we make up for it, and in November, we really make up for it. But what we're seeing this year is that we're really not bouncing the way that we should. October was a 5-Sunday month, and our tithes and offerings were down. In fact, what we're seeing is that September and October, when you take a look at those together, we're significantly behind where we should be as a congregation with tithes and offerings. And as I look at our numbers with November, again, we're not seeing the kind of bounce that we should be seeing in November. I'm concerned about that. Now, you look at these couple of other areas, you look at planned giving initiative dollars, those are way ahead of what we should be receiving, what we've budgeted for. Again, but the problem with those dollars is that they're designated for specific projects. In other words, we can't just use those to pay salaries or utilities or whatever, right? They're designated for specific projects, most of which for the purchase of the Shenandoah property across the street. So we can't use those monies just for anything we want to use them for. Another thing that's really exciting is that the dollars that we received either in deposits or in final bills for rentals is way ahead of where we thought we would be, right? So again, we've got a lot of money that's been coming in either for deposits for renting our facility, or for people that are paying off their balances for renting our facilities. So that's good news, which is going to help us. That money can be used for other things. It's going to help us with some of the shortfall. But my point is, when you go back to the tithes and offerings number, I'm concerned here. We don't have the kind of tithes and offerings to support our ministry. And so I'm just concerned about this, right? So I would just put this in front of the membership and say, folks, we need to keep our foot on the gas, right? We can't relax. Just because we've been doing well with the last 5 years and the trajectory that we've been seeing with our reports and the numbers, again, that's great, but we can't take our foot off the gas. We can't take our eyes off the ball about what's going on here with this area of financial stewardship. So again, that's what I'm excited about, is the trends, the numbers, the reports that we've seen over the last 5 years. I'm concerned about this year that we are not performing how we should be performing. And then there's the third part, which is what we're going to do about it. Well, over the next several weeks, you are going to get a mailing from us here at Redeemer that talks about what we're going to be doing about it with January and February. The financial stewardship team has put a plan together for January and February that I think will be really, really exciting. And I think it will help us to continue to build this culture of financial stewardship and generosity, of serving the Lord here at Redeemer with our time, talent, and our treasure. So we're excited about what's going to be coming up. So we'll be looking later in December for a letter that's going to be talking to you about how we're going to be dealing with the shortfall that we're seeing. Okay? So I just want to share that with you. A lot of great stuff going on here at Redeemer. I got to tell you, when you look at some of the things that are happening here, and we'll talk to you more about that in next month's Big Idea video, talk to you about the exciting stuff that's going on here at Redeemer, but this is an area that we just need to keep our eyes on, okay? So anyway, thank you for tuning into this month's edition of The Big Idea, our monthly video update to talk to you about Redeemer's strategic priorities and basically how things are going here at Redeemer. If you have any questions about this, please do not hesitate to talk to me, speak with one of Redeemer's board members. We'd love to talk to you about how things are going here at Redeemer. Anyway, have a great week. We look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.